All right, we are live for the final full field PGA Tour DFS slate of the 2025 season. How are you doing, Brian? What's going on? How's your weekend?
It has been a day. I had a great weekend. It's been a day at work, so my prep is. I have plenty of stuff written down, but a little more occupied than doing the research for the second gig today. But anyway, I had a fantastic weekend. It was my birthday. I
Hell
turned
yeah. Happy
37.
birthday.
Yeah, and it was a great time. But I am really excited to chop it up with you over the last event of the year. Then a little bit of holiday downtime. You never know. There could be stuff about, I don't know. We could maybe just do other stuff in the month about DFS in general or
We
whatever. I'm
will,
open
yeah.
to anything.
We're going to have a lot of we're going to be working pretty hard behind the scenes on a bunch of stuff, particularly with projections, which I've hinted at and talked about a lot. But I'm super excited about that. But yeah, Dave, you didn't miss this. I'll do this briefly. I was at a wedding in Antigua this weekend. It's a gorgeous place. I mean, it was absolutely stunning. It was probably the best. It's probably the most fun I think I've ever had at a wedding in my life. A lot of that was due to we just love the girl. She went to high school with us and is Natalie's best friend. She was a bridesmaid in the wedding. It was right on the beach, and we were swimming in the ocean a ton during the wedding weekend, and I forgot to take my cell phone out of my pocket when I went into the ocean. So I went for like a full long, probably 30-minute swim in the ocean with my cell phone. This is the first day when I got there.
Yeah.
And then realized it after that I had swam with my phone. I tried all the tricks. I watched a bunch of YouTube videos. And what it comes down to is that a lot of the new iPhones are actually waterproof, especially if you have a case. But not only does my giant brain not have a case, but I also carry around a phone with cracks in it. So the salt water and seaweed was able to seep into the cracks of my iPhone, causing irreparable water damage. With that being said, I'm a huge advocate for Apple Care if you're an Apple user, because we stopped in New York for a day after on Monday, and I brought my cell phone into the Apple store, and I said, I imagine this is 100% cooked, and had mentally prepared myself to spend $1,000 on just a new iPhone. Luckily, iPhones don't have SIM cards anymore, so everything's on the cloud. Right. So my SIM card wasn't destroyed either. So you could basically just transfer everything easily. But with Apple Care, is $100 to get a brand new iPhone.
That's pretty good. Unbeatable.
Pretty good. Yeah. Considering all the rest of the money I spent on the other wedding, it was pretty good.
Man. No, that's great. When you have something like that happen at the end of like just massive amounts of money being spent. Here, okay, quick one. Here's a quick story. Mm-hmm. So I went, and we'll get into it after this. So I went to PGA National last year. For the Honda, yeah. Like I was on site. I didn't get to meet Rishi.
Not my PGA National.
Not my dude. So the tournament is not as good as it used to be, but if you go and you stay on property, you basically get to walk out to the PGA event. And like Damon Hack was staying. Everybody's staying at PGA National. We get a late flight to go in Thursday night, and our plan was to go to the tournament Friday morning. It turns out Travelocity never booked the rooms, and we were thinking about where the heck are we going to stay in Palm Beach Gardens, anywhere, and it would have ruined the entire trip. But you're in such a bad mood from something, and you're like, what's this going to cost me? Thankfully, the concierge there, he's amazing. He stayed, and he found us a room and saved our vacation. So night is darkest just before the dawn, right? Sometimes you get good surprises.
There were so many good surprises on this trip. This is the last thing I'll say, but I didn't fly there with Natalie because she
Right. She
was a
went earlier, right?
bridesmaid, so she went early. So I flew by myself, and by the way, Los Angeles to Antigua is brutal. I mean, you take a red eye to JFK, and then you hop on another 4-hour flight to Antigua. But I got there on Thursday, kind of midday, and there's a shuttle picking us up for all of the wedding guests at the Antigua airport, which is really small. And it's with like a bunch of random. I didn't really see anyone I recognize, and there are clearly some old couples there, some parents' friends, and I'm wearing a Friar's Head hoodie, I think. And anyway, one of the old people there, I mean, he was in his 60s or 70s, was like, "Oh, is that Friar's Head? You like golf?" And it turns out this guy who I ended up playing 2 rounds of golf with by myself during the trip, this 70-year-old guy. I'm not going to dox his memberships, but he happens to be like a member of my favorite golf course in the world, which is right behind me. And I just ended up spending half of the trip with this 70-year-old guy. I'm not even going to call him a ball knower. I would call him a ball professor. Like he was just like, we were 2 peas in a pod. So that's the beauty of golf, is that like you just you can just find these random people in the most random places and get connected with them through your love of golf course architecture. So we started talking ball, and I ended up making a new friend. So it was wonderful. It was wonderful kind of play golf with them all weekend. They have like a little 9-hole course, and Natalie was busy with all of her bridesmaid stuff all weekend. So it's just me and this 70-year-old dude playing Mill Reefs Club's 9-hole course. It was a blast. He's a really great guy. I mean, just stay in touch with him. Anyway, Bermuda.
One more thing.
Yeah.
This might rent. So you rented? Rented clubs?
Yeah, we rented clubs. Okay. It was dirt cheap there.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I rent when I travel places too.
Yeah, I didn't bring my golf clubs. We both rented. It was kind of like a unmanicured, very like dinky 9-hole golf course, but it was on the ocean. So it was still a blast. And, the company in that, this guy is like a member at amongst the most exclusive, nicest golf courses in the world. And we still had a blast playing this 9-holer. So it was a lot of fun. Yeah. Anyway, what more could I ask for? I could have asked for a better betting card at the Bermuda. That tournament was, and I mean, I guess it became a self-fulfilling prophecy, because half of my content that week was talking about how I thought that the combination of the wind, and just the golf course architecture in terms of like how dependent this golf course is on putting. And I could talk through how some of that played out in terms of like the correlation with like greens and regulation percentage. Like Chandler Phillips like finished second in this event and like barely hit any greens. Like there are a lot of people that played well here, and just it was so random. You could have given me 100 tries at this leaderboard and I still wouldn't have gotten it. But essentially the wave edge came to fruition like we expected and we talked about, and I still didn't really win a thing aggressively pursuing a 3-stroke wave edge. I mean, I had a lot of, I had a pool that had a lot of potential, but pretty much like every single one of my guys finished between, I don't know, 30th and 60th. On the week, obviously, we were big on Vince Whaley, but that's not enough to carry a DFS lineup when everyone's finishing T45. So I wish that I won a little bit more. I wish I had a little bit more of a sweat at Bermuda, but that continues to be a really, really challenging event to predict in my mind.
Really, I think what can be said too is like things get crazy at events like that. Like, how do you get a 40% Vince Whaley? Well, that's because of how significant the wave edge is, how everybody expects it to be super significant. And so you really get these like ownership,
Was he really
plays that.
was he
Just
I know
fully,
that I know that on the main slate, Vince Whaley ended up being the highest owned
yeah.
player on the main slate. I had him high, but not
No, but
27%
my
high.
point my point is, like, nobody in the industry would have had, like, nobody would have had that. I mean, you can divvy the ownership up to the players that are in the right wave, but, like, that I don't know how I can't actually explain how you get to 40% Vince Whaley, which, by the way, like, holy cow. But, like, I
He
don't know,
was my
that was
best
just one thing
play
to note.
too.
Yeah, no, my probably mine too, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a random event. I think I'm gonna, like I said, I'm just gonna stick to my guns on these events where you have to putt. Um, you get some pretty gross, pretty not like like, oh, how would you miss Adam Shin? I mean, he wasn't playing badly,
I
but
gave
he
him a
wasn't
look,
like I
but
did too. No, I
yeah.
did too. Also, and I was like, at the 11th hour, I was like, no, like he was even in the pool of the stuff I was building. I was like, yeah, I'm just not feeling it this week. Again, I don't know if I would have gotten anything else right. Like, it's just one of those weeks. I mean, I made most of what I put back in, and why I did that, I'd have to review and look into it. And
Didn't end up being as bad as I would have expected from
no,
a DFS
no,
standpoint either, because I think there was kind of near unanimous from the people that I spoke to that were perplexed by a lot of the outcomes at Bermuda. Um, but betting, I got murdered. It was the first time in a quite a long time, as long as I can remember, where my outright card was like dead to rights on Friday afternoon. Every single event this fall swing, I've at least had like a real Sunday sweat. And Bermuda,
yeah,
I mean, none of my guys, I mean, a bunch of them made the cut, but like I said, a lot of them like finished T45. So, I mean, I
just
don't have much more to I don't think there's much
no,
more to draw from it. Like we're working on testing new projections right now and dialing in that
yeah,
formula. And I told our projections guy, Tyler, like
throw it out.
I wouldn't really look too deeply at this week. And then I kind of double checked with another ISN subscriber who's working on his own projections and is doing like an excellent job with them. And he was like, same thing, just kind of meh,
Yeah,
really hard to draw any grand conclusions from them. With that being said, I think RSM will be way more predictive. I'm not seeing a lot of
yes,
weather at all. It actually looks beautiful. It looks gorgeous in St. Simons Island this time of year. We have a lot of data on this golf course just to kind of give like a 40,000-foot view. It's a 2-course event. And 3 of the rounds, however, are at Seaside. One of the rounds at Plantation. They go back and forth on Seaside and Plantation in round 1 and round 2, and then play both of their weekend rounds at the Seaside, which is the superior golf course, I would say, architecturally. A little bit harder, but like not as difficult as people think. Like over the last 5 years, the difference between the 2 golf courses in scoring has been 0.22, so less than a quarter stroke between the 2 golf courses. And actually 2 of the last 5 years, the Seaside course has played easier than the Plantation course. So yeah, if you're playing Showdown, like I would probably still favor
yes.
the Seaside a little bit, but if the ownership gets like crazy for Seaside guys, I would not, or excuse me, for Plantation guys, I would not be afraid to deploy Seaside guys whatsoever, because 40% of the last 5 years, the Plantation has actually played harder than the Seaside. But last year we saw a decent amount of wind at this event, and Matt McNeely was the winner at 16 under par. I think this year is going to be more similar. Like the way that we're doing our projections for scoring is going to fall more in line with the Ludwig year in
Yeah,
2023, where Ludwig shot 29 under. I think it's maybe a little bit harder than that. You have some breezes that catch up to 10 to 15 miles per hour. But if I had to guess, you're probably looking at 24 under this year. Anything you
I
want to
think
add on the golf course?
not really. I'd sign for that. I think it's just one of these places that plays, mid 20s, and um, only defense is wind. I mean, we talk about it all the time with these coastal courses. Which again, and I would say this. I would say the comp courses that we've picked this week are a little bit interesting to me because I kind of went in and was looking at Waila, I was looking at Colonial, like other Bermuda short courses, but I think the list that you have is a little better. Where Port Royal's one,
Pebble.
Pebble, you can go back to Pebble, like these ballparks that are not big, but like you don't really need driver,
That's how I would
and
describe them. They devalue
yeah,
driving in
yeah,
exchange for middle iron approach play and putting, even
right,
short iron approach play, to be
right,
honest.
and you could look at Bermuda last week. One weird one you might want to like, you can look at like Easy or Honda. Like you might be able to do that with
Yeah,
middle iron play.
definitely, definitely.
Um, I don't know. Like you can kind of go a variety of different ways. And I'll just before we get into the players, we do need to. I was listening to Andy's last RSM show, which was in 2022 or 2021.
Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't put out a preview. I
No,
was
no,
in
but I just wanted an idea of how you said the course was going to play and what I might have been forgetting from last year. And one thing that is interesting is your guest Rob G. He said
really
um,
smart guy. I don't know what's happened to him, but he's a really
he does.
smart
He
guy.
just doesn't. I think he does his full daytime job now or something.
Yeah,
Or I
he's a
don't know.
therapist. Shout
Yeah,
out Rob G.
psychotherapist. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyways, he said something about contrarian modeling, and that might be interesting this week. Like picking courses that are off the beaten path of what you think other people are picking, because you could find some diamonds in the rough. And that's all I'll say. We'll dive in a minute
It's
here.
kind of
So,
what we've been talking about, like with our
yes,
projections, is like
100%.
you
Can't do it
really,
the same way.
right? Like I mean, and I give credit to this take for another person that we were talking to about the projections. I didn't really think of this when I was formulating the concept of making projections, but the value in projections is really being different and being good enough on the weeks when you're different from everybody else and catching that lightning in a bottle, right? I mean, because
Yep.
in golf, you're going to be wrong all the time. All the time. You're going to be wrong more weeks than you're right. And so how do you maximize and get the most out of your good weeks? And on the weeks when you are right and you do nail it, then I mean, you could have some big, huge scores. That's really what you're looking at, right? And so with projections, if you just make them a carbon copy of what everyone else is doing them, then what is the edge that you're actually pursuing, right? I mean, the goal in projections should not even necessarily, I mean, it should kind of be ancillary, is to be right more often than not. But they also need to be contrarian enough that the information that you are conveying gives you an opportunity, if you do happen to be right about your read on the golf course, that
Mhm.
you're going to come out with players and lineups that are different from the rest of the field. So anyway,
Absolutely.
that was an aside, but as we talk
No,
about RSM,
this stuff is interesting. It's as interesting as talking about the players. I do
yeah,
have player takes today though. So go first. Be my
yeah,
guest.
I have some unique takes on this slate too. I had like such a long flight from New York back to LA yesterday. The flight, I guess it's because of tailwinds, but the flight from New York to LA is always feels so much longer, at least than the flight from New York to or the flight from LA to New York. And I spent the whole time on RSM because I was a little behind from the weekend. And I've been kind of tweaking my process a little bit. I think there's some things with bet spurts that are just like severe limitations. Some things that data golf does that I've been thinking about a little bit more acutely, that kind of conversely display some limitations in what bet spurts should do. So I'm kind of excited to roll out some of the guys that I'm playing this week because there's a couple things that I'm looking at and valuing differently than I would in the past in terms of my process. And I guess can start with the top. I mean, I'll say this. I'm not a huge fan of Harris English as top priced guy this week, considering, I mean, mainly considering the fact that he's been extremely underwhelming at Sea Island for a player that lives at Sea Island. He's got 3 top 25s and 13 appearances at Sea Island, and he hasn't played golf since the Ryder Cup, right? And so for me, I'm really looking for players that have been, I'm not doing it with every single guy. But more often than not, like I'm trying to value players that have been playing really good golf this fall swing and are in good form versus there are a lot of Sea Island guys that you're going to see priced at the top, such as Harris English, Brian Harman, JT Poston, Denny McCarthy, Daniel Berger. Those guys are all guys priced at the top of the slate that haven't been playing any golf. Now, that does, I certainly think one of them is going to play well. And my best guess for that, based on course fit, would personally be Brian Harman. But I'm not going down that route. Like, I am far more inclined to keep riding guys like Thor and Hoey, even with the ownership, and hope that they can put a capstone on like a really strong fall swing with a potential win. Thor and Hoey have been the 2 best ball strikers of the fall swing. They have, bar none. They have made ball striking leaps. Hoey, I would even say, has made like just a general leap as a player. I think Thor, people already thought and expected Thor to be good. But my hope with Thor is that this is his Ludwig moment. I don't think that this is the greatest golf course for him personally, if I'm being completely honest. Like, I think he's an incredible driver of the ball, and I think this golf course mitigates driving to a certain extent. With that being said, that did not matter for Ludwig at all. And it didn't matter for Thor at all when he finished 8th last year. So I think for me, it would be Thor, Rico, and Harman that would be my favorite at the top. What about you?
So as you're talking, I realized I got a good Thor number betting wise. So I'm probably not going to play anybody over 10K. I don't know. That could change, but like the names I have written down underneath are names that you kind of alluded to: Hoey, Poston, Denny, Thunder Bear.
Yeah,
Thorbjorn.
I thought long and hard about Thunder Bear.
So I do agree with what you're saying without question, which is to say, it's a tough sell to pay this much money on players who have been sitting on their couch for a month. You have no idea what they've been doing. Steve is always really apt to point that out. So yes, the ownership is a lot on Rico Hoey. I kind of see your point on Harman. I don't hate that at all. Poston, McCarthy, Thorbjorn. I'm just now, after talking to you, yeah, I think I'm going to pick a couple of the 9s and I'll mix those. And then depending on how many I want to put in each roster, what kind of my roster construction I want to do, like 3 9s, 3 7s, or like 2 9s, 8s, whatever. I can divvy it up. I just think, man, it's a lot of ownership on Thor. I do like him in a vacuum. I think he's good though.
It is a lot of ownership on Thor. I'm not sure if that number is going to come to fruition. I mean, it could get higher.
Yeah.
Could get lower. I mean, we'll have the update in the insider sheet tomorrow. But right now, that was what I mean, I'm always confident in my numbers as like a snapshot of where we are at right now. And I think that's where we're at right now in terms of Thor and Hoey, and that line of thinking is not, I don't think I'm breaking any news with that line of thinking. I think there is a bit of an aversion to players that haven't been playing, even if they're maybe considered in some people's eyes better long-term overall players. A lot of those guys have like amazing comp course history, right? Like Denny, Poston, Brian Harman, Daniel Berger have all been phenomenal on the comp courses. But for me personally, I would prefer them being in form with. I think Brian Harman at least has played the DP World Tour Championship in India towards the end of October, and he finished 26th. So I think I would probably, I would probably prefer Harman of those guys. And then I don't mind Siwoo either, who has, I mean, Siwoo has gotten,
Bad hitter.
yeah, he has been bad. But he's been good at like places like this. I mean, I don't
Yes.
think that this golf course really tests accuracy the way that maybe the data golf radar plot has in terms of like its importance at this golf course. And typically I like Siwoo on golf courses that highly reward accuracy. I don't really think this highly rewards anything off the tee, particularly. I think it's like a true second shot golf course, more so in the vein of Pebble Beach, personally. But Siwoo has 5 top 25s in a row. The last he played was October 26th at the Genesis Championship in Europe, 20th at the Bay Current, 5th at Wentworth, and then the other 2 top 25s are from the FedEx Cup playoffs. So, I mean, do with
Some
what you
golf.
want. Yeah,
Like you're
some
saying,
golf, but
you're playing a little golf. Here's the last thing I'll say about Thor, and we'll move on. What is Aberg's biggest weakness? Ludwig Aberg's biggest weakness.
short game.
What is Thorbjornson's biggest weakness?
Short game. Yeah.
What do they both do well? Pretty much all the same thing.
Yeah, pretty much all the same things.
So,
yeah, I agree with you.
Feels,
I bet
it does feel like it this week. I don't know though.
Yeah, yeah. I think it like would narratively make sense that this would be like a very good culmination of a very strong fall swing for Thor, but golf doesn't always work out narratively, as we've come to understand over the years. So let's talk about the eights. I don't have, I mean, I kind of like the lower eights a little bit better. Like, I'm a big fan of Nico this week. We were last week. I think this is a decent example of what you were talking about in terms of like, if a guy's playing well, if you liked him at Port Royal, there are a lot of similarities to this golf course in Port Royal, even without the high winds. Even without the high winds, I mean, both are golf courses that are typically, and I think the scoring average here is going to be a lot easier than what we saw on a very difficult Bermuda year. But historically with Bermuda, you're just going to have short irons in your hand a lot. And even in high winds, it was still like guys just had short irons in their hand a ton. And it was a little more difficult to separate off the tee. That's very similar to Sea Island, right? Very similar agronomy as well with the Bermuda greens. And so,
but the rough is overseed, right? That's kind of why I didn't like Colonial.
Yeah, well, the rough was Zoyjat. I mean, neither of the golf courses really have much rough. I mean, you just can't miss huge. And so anyway, as it pertains to Nico, I loved him last week. I love the way he's been playing this fall swing. He's got 2 top 15s already this fall swing, and he's been playing good, sustained golf with great putting upside and great short iron approach upside. He's the type of guy that I know in any given week in this field could lead the field in approach play and or putting. So I'm going back to Nico without a doubt. The 2 other guys are a little bit more. I'm going to take a shot on Keith Mitchell this week.
I like it too.
Very low owned.
Yes.
He is a Sea Island resident and has had some decent success here. He's played a little this fall swing, a decent amount, more than some other guys. Like he's not coming off cold off the bench like a Berger. Like he finished 10th at the Bay Current. We don't have strokes gained for that. And then he finished a whatever, like 60th at the WWT. He's very low owned and a very underrated approach player, even with his short irons, that is very familiar on this golf course. And you're getting a pretty big discount on him. I think he's a decent flyer. I have some interest in, and then I would continue playing Brennan.
I'm playing Brennan.
He's just hot. Yeah.
It's so hot right now playing Brennan.
So hot right now, that Brennan.
I'm playing Brennan every week. I've already made that decision. Looked myself in the mirror and I said, "You're playing this guy every week." Bud Cauley, man, talk about a course that I think Bud Cauley could play.
Has he been playing though?
So I don't think he's been playing a lot. If I could get off the screen, I'll tell you what his last results are. Hold on. I don't even need to get off the screen actually. I don't think. Oh, maybe it's
36
not gonna work.
FA current is his only result this fall
Okay.
swing. Don't love that, but it's obviously a good golf course for
It's
Bud.
really good Bud golf
Yeah,
course.
36 FA current. I believe.
I considered going back to Vince Whaley or maybe even looking at Chris Kirk. I don't know though. Like Chris
What do you
Kirk's
think about
barely played.
DT for John?
Um, man, he's hurt my feelings a lot in the fall swing. I don't think he's been very
He
good lately.
he was playing well heading into the fall swing, but then again, he just hasn't played. He's another guy that
He's a
I
Sea
know has
Island guy, right?
yeah, he has strong Sea Island ties. If
Okay.
I'm like 99% sure Steve would perhaps know this. This
Okay.
is based on memory that he won an amateur event here.
Got it. Okay. I may give him a look. Honestly, like, God, I might do 4% bet on. I don't know. Like that's pretty low. He's
Yeah, I'm good on Ben on.
I can hear Capper's voice in the background. It stinks.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm good on Ben on. I like Ben on a lot. I
I
just
do too.
don't
It's
like him
not a
on this
great
golf
course.
course.
It's not a great course for him. Like
Yeah.
he really is. He's amazing off the tee. Distance. Oh, I don't know. It just he came up on some of the comps I was looking at him. He was pretty okay at Honda, I think. Anyways,
Yeah.
Anything else in the eights?
No, I think Mitchell's a worthy low-owned play. I
Yeah.
like Brennan and Nico. In the sevens, why don't you lead us off for the sevens?
One last name, Kuchar, yes or no?
No.
Okay, I think
I love
I think
him.
yeah.
I get it. I get like the theory of, loved him last week. Why wouldn't you love him this week?
Yeah.
I just think like he's gonna finish T45.
He's
And
I think he's too old to play.
I think he's just gonna finish T45.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's winning me anything. I had a
No.
bunch of guys do that last week and I didn't win anything. I didn't
Yeah.
lose, I guess, as much as I could have, but I didn't win anything with a bunch of T45s from old Matt Kuchar.
I'll
So
transition you because I did see your Jim Smith message
I
in
really
the
like him this week.
yeah, that's Sahith for anybody who's new here.
We call Sahith the Gall of Jim Smith at ISM.
Yeah. I'm going back to Patrick Rogers.
Okay.
We're doing that again. Yeah.
Okay. He was bad chalk last week.
Yes. He was on the wrong side of the wave though. Like
He was. Very true.
I mean, he's
Very true.
6.5%. Like
He's also
I
played.
try not to
He's
take
also
my feelings
played.
around.
He's also played quite well at this golf course.
Yes, he has. Yes, he has.
So is Mackenzie Hughes, as Dave would love to point out.
Mackenzie Hughes, man, that might be an 11th hour thing I do. 9% is too high though. He'll have to come down from 9% for me to play him. He's like really good here. I think that's why
He's been
people like him.
unbelievable here.
Yeah,
Like truly unbelievable here.
Sayonara, Victor Perez. Thanks for the memories.
Yeah,
We will
we'll
not be
remove
playing
him
you
in the
this
next
week.
ownership run. Wasn't really interested anyway. Enjoy it, man. Like,
yeah.
my
My wallet's happier than I am, I'm sure.
right. We're opening up the French market.
Yes.
What's really interesting about French golf?
What's interesting?
It's like even more elitist than, which isn't probably going to surprise people about like some of the culture in France, but there's some incredible golf courses that I want to see in France, like Le Bourg. There's another one that's on the tip of my tongue. Tom Simpson's done some work there.
Really?
France has some like incredible, really high end, incredible golf courses. I don't think that they have a burgeoning golf culture where Victor Perez going to the Cliques is going to exactly open up a French market for live.
You never know, man.
But I've been wrong in the past.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
That was a weird one because like we're all expecting for like Potgieter or Higo or something like that because like that's an established fan base. I'm sure that's a country that probably really likes. I don't know.
Don't the Cliques also have No, Meronk is
Polish.
not.
So he's
Meronk is Polish. Yeah.
yes, yeah.
So
Matt
adieu,
Wallace.
Victor Perez. Yeah.
Um,
Safe travels. Anyway, continue with the sevens. RK brought up Valimaki, who is
going back to him.
Yeah, he's been a tremendous. He's gotten a lot of steam on both. If you look at our live odds screen, he's gotten a lot of steam on Bookmaker, and just some steam overall. Like I bet Valimaki as well. It's ownership dependent for me. I kind of have to pick between. I'll tell you right now because it's been a difficult decision that I've been thinking about this afternoon. But I have to pick 2 out of the 4 between Meisner, Seamus Power, Valimaki, and Takumi Kanaya. Right now, I have Meisner and Power in, and I bet Valimaki, so I think I could maybe like throw a top 20 on him and fade him in DraftKings and play Meisner and Power. But I have those.
You do that, yeah.
Yeah, I have those 4 guys like very close together in terms of Meisner, Power, Kanaya, Valimaki. I think they're all great plays.
I don't know if I'm probably gonna do it at ownership, but something crossed my desk from a very sharp member who builds models and stuff. And Jesper Svensson is one of the best scorers on short courses.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interested in him.
Him and Fishburne.
Interested in Power. Going back to Cole. I'll go back to Cole again. If you don't need to drive the ball that well at this course, that's exactly what his form is.
I thought Cole was going to win this last year, and so I probably should go back to Cole. He was like just on the outside looking in for me, but he was a big disappointment for me last week as well.
He was also on the wrong side of the draw.
He was also on the wrong side of the draw as well. Yeah. So you probably can't hold him to account.
I don't. Yeah. One last dance for Andy and Doug.
Absolutely. Without a shadow of a doubt. Doug was amazing last week.
Yeah. Dude, I can't believe Dougie Fresh isn't keeping his card.
Well, he could win this week and keep it.
How happy would you be? You'd be pretty happy.
I'd be happier. I'd be happier than when Kitayama won the 3M Open.
Yeah, it'd be like Rico Hoey, Gim. Well, no, probably Rico Hoey, and then Kitayama.
Kitayama, Gim, and Rico are kind of my 3 guys.
Yeah,
there's I'm not missing those guys.
No, yeah, and I get you, man. I get you.
I play them every week. Doug Gim's good at golf. People will get it at some point.
Kiefer is not a good fit at this golf course at all, but that might just be a guy that, again, I play every week because if he has a ceiling that I think he has, want to be there for the week.
He was the apple of everyone's eye, including my eye, for WWT, which I thought was a better golf course for him than this one. So a little bit of a stronger field. The price has gone down. The ownership is quite low.
2%. I'll put him in 2 lineups, and that's good in a 20 set.
Yeah, the ownership is quite low. He's kind of sandwiched between a lot of guys I love. Like I love Gim. I love Max McGreevy, who has been hit with Bobby Oppenheimer grade nukes.
Careful on that. Tread carefully on that one.
Max McGreevy is getting a lot of steam. And I would say my understanding of that would be he was first in the field in greens and regulation last week at Port Royal. He has a 16th at this golf course in the past, in between 2 missed cuts. And he's already like a very solid driver of the ball, and he's popping with his irons right now. I mean, first in the field in greens and regulation. Jim Smith, by the way, 4th in greens and regulation. He wasn't 4th in greens and regulation. That was somebody else that I wanted to highlight. Grayson Sigg was 3rd in greens and regulation. Seamus Power was 4th in greens and regulation. Your boy Jesper Svensson was 8th in greens and regulation. Sahith was 12th in greens in regulation.
Jesper was crucial last week for getting me some money back.
Yeah, Jesper.
He was like 1%
Jesper
in
hit
the $44.
Yeah, Jesper hit the ball. Some guys to look at this week that hit the ball, it's seemingly perhaps better than maybe their finish would suggest. Grayson Sigg, third in greens in regulation, finished 46. It's probably some typical terrible Grayson Sigg putting. Of course, I bet him again. He's a Sea Island resident, by the way. I love that play at 7K flat.
That's a good one. Oh, I'll scroll down.
Svensson, 8th in greens in regulation. Fishburne, 8th in greens in regulation. He's core potential for me. I'm a huge fan of Fishburne.
Fishburne's good this week. Like, really good.
I really like Fishburne this week.
Yeah. I couldn't believe the 150 to 1 that I bet it. I couldn't believe 150 to 1. That's not, he's too good for that.
That's a great number. When did you get that? Because I bet Fishburne too, and I only got him at 110 to 1.
It was on Bet Online on Monday.
Yeah. Good call, man. 100. Damn, I'd love to be holding a 150. I was very happy with the 110.
Yeah, it's a good, I mean, anything over 100 for me is good on him. I think Andrew Novak, he's really underpriced, like, for what he is. I know he hasn't played a lot of golf lately. I know he hasn't even really been that good there. That's just I buy the talent.
Yeah, that's fair. He's very cheap. I thought on
very, very cheap.
Whatever name recognition means for Andrew Novak, I thought that he would be more expensive in this field still.
Like something called Adrian Dumont de Chassart is $100.
Oh, ADDC, yeah.
So I actually like him. I think I'm gonna play him. Like he's only coastal courses.
Yeah,
if you look at the stuff that he's never anywhere else, just coastal stuff. So he's in consideration for me. Again, you can just like you said, love Fishburne. Like if you love Fishburne last week, same thing, right?
Which I did. I'm going right back to Fishburne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hayden Springer, not bad. He's a good Bermuda putter. No? Okay. When I get down here, it gets a little savvy. Chad Ramey murdered everyone last week.
He did. Yeah. And I luckily somehow
he's now in a good price. He's now in a good price range. So that's another one.
Lee Hodges murdered me last week, and then he got nuked again, which I don't really understand. Based on the way that he's playing. I'm a huge fan of Lee Hodges. I just don't think he's playing well enough. But, I think it's very possible that he just randomly pops here. For me, once we get down here to 7K flat, it's all about Grayson Sigg and his Etsune.
Rio's 6.9 again, which is I don't know. I buy the talent on him every week.
He shot an 80 on Sunday, but he was really in the mix.
He does
Thursday and Friday.
He is a guy that I play pretty much every week. I just buy the talent on him.
Totally.
Is Adam Hadwin fixed? I don't know. Maybe. I used to play that guy all the time. Ben Silverman, really good Bermuda putter. Really good Bermuda putter. Carson Y. I'm not really. I wrote these names down, but it's like I don't really know how much of these I need to play. Like depending on how I build.
I want it to be a little bit more like resorty, wide open WWT for Carson Young.
Okay.
It's all about his Etsune and Sigg for me here. And then if we get into the sixes, I know Zach Blair kind of proved me wrong last week.
I almost texted you and I needed to have a phone. I was like, Zach Blair? It was the week to play him.
T9. Yeah. T9.
On courses where he doesn't get lapped by hitting a 250.
Yeah. Kind of an in my face, Zach Blair. I really like Zach Blair as a guy. I don't really play him in DFS.
No, you don't need to do that.
And there's been some more buzz on him this week. It's not for me. I'd rather lose money on Svensson again.
Exactly.
Going right back.
Why is Andrew Putnam 6.7 here?
Going
Like,
right back. Putnam murdered me. Like, I had one 6
yeah.
of 6
Oh, I
that
don't think I had. I might have had one or none.
I had one 6 of 6. I had a couple. They just everyone
Yeah,
like
if you
everyone just
moonwalk on
finished
back,
everyone just finished fucking T45. And Putnam not even.
yeah,
Putnam finished like T65 and was terrible over the weekend.
yeah,
But I'm going right back to Putnam at this price. I love the course fit. He's played well at similar golf courses. And I think I just think that his short iron approach play and putting is going to play here. And now you're getting a huge price discount. So
exactly.
Svensson and Putnam are two guys that, as we talked about, we liked last week, and we're going right back to this week on a somewhat similar golf course. Like, I think for Putnam particularly, he's such a bad ball striker that when it gets windy like that, he seemed like he kind of got blown away over the weekend, particularly in that final round. I think Putnam's going to make a ton of putts this week.
Yes, I mean, Taylor Montgomery's here, so he's not the number one Bermuda putter in the field, but he's got to be like very high.
Yeah.
Capper's boy Zach Johnson. I actually did write his name down.
Give him a look.
I don't know.
Future category for me.
If I'm going to go down this far, two names: Captain Phillips, Carl Phillips.
Okay.
And then your boy Paul Peterson, $6,300.
Yeah, I thought about it.
Or didn't you say Doc? Didn't you talk to me about Doc?
I forgot about Doc. Yeah.
Like,
I love Doc.
That's kind of good too.
Yeah.
Or Kyle's boy Brendan Valdez. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Is that one of Kyle's boys? We'll find out tomorrow night.
Yeah, no, Kyle loves Brendan Valdez.
Yeah, I love Doc this week. I bet him 300 to 1. He's got two top 20s. Yeah, he's got two top 20s this fall swing where he's gained in both ball striking categories, and he's played well at this golf course in the past. He's 300 to 1, 6.5K.
Tom and Marty's boy might be back. Like,
yeah.
Does he have? He probably has to go to Corn Ferry though, right? Like he's not going to make the tour.
Okay. No, he's got to go to Q school, I think. I mean, basically how it works is, so the top 100 in the FedEx Cup standings are PGA Tour members next year. So basically the PGA Tour is made up of, and the signature events are essentially the guys that finish top 50 in the PGA Tour. And then there's like the Aon Next 10. But essentially the PGA Tour next year is going to be the guys who are the top 100 in the FedEx Cup standings after this week. 10 guys from the DP World Tour, which Bex wrote an article on.
Yeah, great article.
I would recommend checking that out.
I'm excited about playing those guys.
Yeah, those guys are going to be fun. If you want to get kind of like an early read on some of those DP World Tour guys, we have those covered at Inside Sports Network from the great Bex, who's awesome on the DP World Tour. 20 Corn Ferry Tour graduates. And then even like the guys that are 100 through 125 in the FedEx Cup, which have, I believe, conditional status, are going to get some looks. So
that means you'll see them
Gim's gonna play some next year.
He'll play some. He won't play every week. But so my question, and we can conclude the show by this. My question is, what? I had a thought, and it just went away. Do they play? Oh, do they play Corn Ferry and PGA Tour when they have conditional status? They basically play both. I think.
Yeah.
Because like Pearson Cootie did that. Like he's been crushing it on all those Corn Ferry events, and then he got promoted, I guess, or whatever you want to call it, to play in the fall to try to get conditional status.
Yeah. So I think like if Doug Gim's 125, I just understand everything through Doug Gim. I think if Doug Gim's 125, like he's probably going to play a little bit on the PGA Tour and a little bit on the Corn Ferry Tour.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Marco Penge, it sounds like, I read that article. That guy at Torrey Pines. That's the look.
Hell yeah. I was playing Penge last year on some random golf courses.
He murders the ball.
Yeah, I think he played well at the Open. Okay. So we have 5 minutes before Capper and Steve come on. They're going to do a more focused betting show. So stick with us right now. Absolutely. I'll save some of the more salacious, nefarious stories of the wedding for Ball Knowers After Dark. I was messaging in the
Absolutely.
Discord. There's some dark energy going. I mean, it was an incredibly fun wedding, but there was some dark energy that was going on as well. That was fascinating to observe from a bird's eye view.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I skimmed a little about it, but I'm looking forward to listening to it tomorrow night, my friend.
I'm going to see Die My Love with Robert Pattinson and Jennifer Lawrence this weekend, which I've heard is a beautiful film, but a really tough set. I've heard it's
Uh,
brutal to watch,
saw
but
it.
really excellent.
Yeah, I
Oh,
saw it.
you saw it? What'd you
Yeah.
think?
We'll talk after you watch it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, like, is that somewhat accurate in terms of like
It
it's a difficult watch, but you're gonna be glad
yeah.
that you saw it?
I don't know if you're gonna be glad that you saw it. Her performance is really good. Like Jennifer Lawrence's performance is really good.
Yeah, I heard she's
Um,
fantastic. What'd you think
she's
of
incredible.
Pluribus from Dave?
I haven't seen it yet.
I've heard it's excellent.
I've heard it's really good. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah,
But I plan to for sure.
I've heard it's excellent. So anyway, let's give the channel over to Capper and Steve. Stay tuned for some more betting stuff on the RSM, and of course, the great Twitterless Steve on weather and whatever the hell him and Capper are up to. I don't know. Maybe they talk about NFL too.
Maybe.
But thanks as always, Brian.
Hey, no, thanks for having me.
No, I mean, we'll kind of pencil in some shows over the off period to talk about more general DFS stuff.
Yeah,
I'm doing a big old golf course architecture pod next week. I haven't
heck yeah.
talked about golf course architecture in a while. I'm talking about the best golf courses that I saw in 2025 with Andrew Carr, who I love on Twitter.
I'm looking forward to it.
Great dude. Yeah. All right. Cheers, Brian.
Take it easy. Cheers to you too, bud.